Hello, in this video we are going to discuss about the profit and loss statement analysis steps. So the first step that we do is the understand the overall P&L to identify the area of concerns. Is it the revenue is low or the expenses are high? Is it the our GOP gross operating profit is lower or higher than last year or budget? So before we dive into the details, so the first we take the bird's eye view of overall hotel performance in terms of occupancy, in terms of rates, in terms of revenue, expenses, profit and loss. So we're gonna be looking at it into details in a little bit. Then the second thing is, after we identify those occupancy statistics, hotel operational reports, performance, then we drill down into marketing reports for revenue and occupancy analysis. We have discussed the marketing reports in our earlier videos as well. After we drill down into the marketing reports, then the next is to see the detailed P&L of each department to narrow down the expenses, which expenses are requiring our attention because they are either higher than the budget or higher than last year, or they are disproportionate compared to the revenue performance of the hotel. After you have narrowed down the expenses, the fourth step is to get the itemized details of these unfavorable expenses so that you can do the cost control measures. And after that, the final step is to plan the action to remediate the concerns in revenue and in expenses. So now we're going to look at the sample of the steps. So here is a sample of the profit and loss statement for a hotel. It's a overall P&L. So here you can see the total gross operating revenue of the hotel, actual month to date, variance versus the budget, then you have actual last year, and then you have variance versus last year in terms of absolute value and in terms of percentage. So the overall feel of this restaurant of this hotel is that the gross operating revenue is lower than the budget by about 40% and lower than the last year by about 28%. The overall expenses, departmental expenses, which are mostly concerned directly related to the sale, are at 31% compared to the budgeted of 27% and the last year of 30%. So they are slightly higher in terms of the revenue, in terms of expenses. That is the reason why the expenses are increasing by about 24%, while the revenue is dropping by the expenses are dropping by 24% only, while revenue has dropped by 28%. So that has caused the departmental contribution to drop by more than 30%. Now here is the undistributed expenses: administrative and general, A&BP, and maintenance and utilities. So these are also high in compared to the last year, compared to the budget and last year by around 18% and by 24%. So this is how we, and then the GOP, the percentage. So GOP percentage is 42% compared to last year of 47%. So we drop not only in value, we drop in terms of percentage as well. So as you can see, the revenue is dropping by 28%, but the GOP dropped by 36% compared to last year. So which means we need to focus on both. We need to focus on revenue. Why is it 28% lower than last year? After that, we will look at into the expenses as well, because the expenses are not dropping in the same proportion as the revenue. So means that's causing the GOP to drop further more than the revenue drop. So the GOP flow through here is, we have calculated it. The standard P&L may not have this available. So you need to calculate this by dividing the variance of profit divided by the variance of revenue. So here is the case. So now is 59%, which is considered low in case of flow through. Here you can see the occupancy statistics, which is occupancy percentage is 59% compared to previous year of 89%. However, the rate has increased from 5,800 to 5,500. So this means that the hotel is increasing, is able to maintain the higher rate, however has dropped the occupancy. So this does not mean the hotel has increased the rate. It also may mean that the bulk business, i.e. the lower rate big business is stop coming to the hotel for many reasons. So we have discussed this report in detail in our marketing analysis, where you can go and refer to the more details. So the next step which we were discussing was on the marketing analysis. So the revenue analysis of step 2. So we have dedicated videos for the marketing analysis, how to understand the nationality, how to understand the booking source, how to understand the segmentation of the revenue, the F&B menu engineering report, so that we can understand why the F&B revenue is also dropping, and it also has a concern compared with the occupancy, the cover analysis report. And then the next video we will be discussing about the